Alright YouTube, what is going on? It's Hightower 5000 here today, bringing you the start of my Cities XXL Let's Play. So continuing on basically some more random games. This isn't as such a random game, it's a game I actually really sort of enjoy, or these sort of kind of games that I really like. City Simulators. City Simulators is something that I've really enjoyed for a very long time. Started off with SimCity 3000, SimCity 4, the new SimCity, Cities XXL, and at some point I'll buy Skylines because it does look a better game like than this anyway. But I want to give this game a good proper go because I do think it does have a lot of good features, however it has a lot of flaws as well, which I'll talk about in this Let's Play. So this is going to be a rolling Let's Play really. I mean, what I'm doing on Sid Meier's Railroads, that's only going to last like 4 or 5 videos. This is going to probably be a lot longer. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and build a city. And I've actually built quite a lot of cities before. As you can see, Upper Volta is one of them there. That's basically an island city which I've made before. Built quite a lot of island cities. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and try find something that's relatively easy because I'm not the best at this game. I've played a lot of cities but I've not done too well with them. So we'll just have to go and see really what we can do. So I'm looking for something probably with oil. I don't really want to do a fertile areas one because that's all I've really done in the past. That's water and holidays. Now I'm not very good with holidays at all, so I actually want to find something quite decent. Right, so I think I've gone ahead and found myself quite a good city. I've ended up using these filters, going with fuel because I like to do fuel stuff. Also like to do normal difficulty. I think that's good enough. So we're going to start off this one. It's called the Far West right now. However, I am actually going to call it something different. What we're going to call this is Towerville because obviously high tower and Ville, I think that's quite a good name. I'm going to use English roads because we drive on the left hand side of the road, whereas a lot of people in other countries, really depends what country you're in, driving the right side of the road. In Britain we drive on the left, and that's the system I'm used to. So first of all, as you can see, we're in a desert climate and I need to find the water source. Is there any water? There's actually not any rivers, which is quite strange. I've never really been on a map without this. That's probably our fertile area. So the first thing that I do when I start off a city is, before I actually start building anything, doing anything, you need to check your resources map. Resources is very important because you sort of want to play to your resources. So as we can see, we've got 2 large oil, 4 large oil fields it looks like, which will split that off into subsections. So that's quite good. We've got a lot of oil, we can go ahead and probably make a lot of money, and that's where a lot of the city's money I can imagine is going to come from. Water, we've got 2 areas of water, 3 areas of water, not too large, which is kind of worrying. Hopefully we should be okay though. Fertile areas are these 2 ones here, so I can already tell where I'm going to start off building, probably round about this area here where you can see my mouse. Intercity roads seem to near enough be at every single side because they're not bordered by a sea or a river. I would expect that, to be honest. Intercity highways will be the same, railroads will be the same. I'm pretty sure that's new actually. Since I've not played this game in about 2 or 3 months, that could be new because I can't remember that feature. Anyway, port areas, we've got no port areas because we have no coastline. Ground relief, it doesn't matter too much in this game, to be honest with ground relief. Holidays, we don't have any holiday hotspots, but this isn't the best map for it because again there's no coast and we've got no coastal areas. So now that we've done that anyway, we can go ahead and start building off our city. So I'm already going to start building for the future. I'm one of these people who likes to build for the future. I think it's just very logical to do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start building off at the top of the map here. I'm going to build a large expressway coming down the middle here. That's going to cost me 10,000. Money doesn't tend to be too much of a problem in this game. Not at all sure why. It just seems to be fine. So anyway, there we go. I've been built now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this very long highway and I'm going to make life as easy as possible for myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off here by building. I just need to check the resources map again actually, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make wee sort of junctions off the main expressway. So traffic management is a really big thing, as you'll learn. Now, I realise I'm just introducing this game, but I'm already going into a lot of detail. Traffic management is such a big thing in this game, it's unreal. So this is why I'm doing it this way, because you don't want to have too many, you want to use primarily these big roads, these expressways. However, you don't want to have too many junctions on them because traffic will build up. So eventually at some point, as you can see here, we can upgrade our roads. So we'll be doing a lot of one-way systems, let's put it that way, for traffic. So say for example you will arrive in here, so you can only come in this way, but you can only go out that way, if you get what I mean. So that's probably what's going to happen. So let's actually get around to building now. So before we do anything, you actually have to go ahead and build yourself a city hall. Now city hall is quite important because this is basically where everything sort of stems from. So now that that's built, basically it's very basic. It's quite shit, to be honest, as you can see, it is quite shite. We'll zoom in here. Camera angle isn't the best actually, but there we go. So yeah, as you can see, it's quite shit. But over time, if you get, like, for example, a certain amount of workers, certain amount of population, certain amount of money, then you do land up overall being able to upgrade it, and it does look a lot smarter, and it gives you a lot more benefits as well as you upgrade it. You get to unlock new things, which, as you can see, I don't have very much unlocked. So now that we've gone ahead and built that, we're going to go ahead and build some of our utilities. Now what I'm planning to do is use this expressway, and mainly I will use expressways as boundaries, because I want to split my sort of like residential and industrial areas apart, obviously, because who wants to live in an industrial estate? No one really does, so that's what we're going to do. So before I go ahead and get nagged at again, I'm going to go back and check my resources map and check for oil. So we're quite a bit away from oil, wee bit close to water, but we're in fertile area. So I actually don't want to build in this area at all, just for the reason that I want to primarily probably go ahead and put farms there, because that probably makes most logical sense. And so what I'll probably do is we'll build off to this way here. So I'm going to go ahead and build another road now, and I think we'll build this road probably just along here, to be honest, up here. Oh, is that a bit, it's a bit steep there, isn't it? Right, okay, we'll see what we do, So first of all, obviously want to get some people into your place, but I do very quickly need to build a utility centre. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to actually have utilities just along this expressway here, because what I'm thinking of doing is having housing in this area here, north of this or above this road, and below this road I'll probably have a wee industrial estate to sort of get the city going. So now that's done, as we can see now, we've got housing unlocked, so this brings lots more benefits to us. So let's go ahead and continue with our roads that we were doing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm very much going to do one-way systems from the start, just to keep the traffic moving smoothly. So if I build that there, which seems good, and if we go into housing, now this is very smart. This is a game, or this is a thing that the game's done quite well, is you can sort of like snap to grid like that, which is quite smart. So I probably want to do that only about 9 blocks deep. Like so, I can go ahead and build that, and that sort of automatically does it for me. That's just one thing this game's done absolutely wonderful. And there we go, so it sort of pre-built the roads for me, so I don't actually have to drag the roads out and then fill in the gaps. It's already done it for me, which is quite good. So anyway, that's us there. Got some people, some residential, so it's low density. It's not very good, to be honest, but it'll do for now. Got my utilities, and this basically, in a lot of city builders, unfortunately these days, you have to like build a separate power plant, separate water thing right off the start. Now don't get me wrong, you do land up having to do that at some point, but as a first starter you can just build one of these and it gives you everything for you. Won't last very long though, especially as our population rises. So I've built that there, but the next thing I really need to do is get people jobs. That's the bottom line. So if we come into here, it basically tells you sort of all about your population and how everything works. So right now citizens have got 100% citizens, so that's basically how many houses that are built to how many people actually living in them. Home filling rates 28, so that ties in with that. Immigration rates 30%, that doesn't matter. Available jobs and unemployment, these two are very important. So as you can see right now, there's 100% available jobs in our second tier workers, which is skilled workers. So I don't have any of them yet because I don't have any of that housing yet. I think I've just unlocked it, mind you, actually. And I've also here got 40% available jobs in unskilled work, but there's 69% unemployment. So that'll sort itself out over time, and hopefully we can continue on with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to very quickly go ahead and build ourselves some more housing. Get some skilled workers in here, and then I really need to actually get some jobs on the go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build an industrial estate. I think that's the most logical thing probably for me to do. However, down in this section, because you don't want it right beside the people, you usually want to leave a wee bit of a gap. So what I am going to do actually is I think I might actually make a wee like commercial street or some offices in between. Because I think that'd be quite logical, just going from the residential to the offices, then to the hardcore industry sort of stuff. So again, as I said, you don't really want to make too many cut-offs on the main expressways themselves. I'll get rid of them 2 roads. What I'll do here is I'll do that there, and I'll do that there. That seems quite logical. And then from there what we'll do is we'll start off by building some commercial. So if we come in here, you can see retail. So all these menus, this is all the menu options where you get everything. Should probably walk you through a lot of this actually. Housing at the top there, so you've got your 4 different tiers. You've got unskilled workers, skilled workers, you've got executives, and you've got elites. Then you've got industry, which you've got food industry, you've got heavy industry, you've got manufacturing, high tech, and offices. Commerce, you've got retail, hotels, and you've got leisure or leisure. Then in here is utilities, so you've got electricity, you've got water, you've got recycling waste, and you've also got fuel. City services like police, fire, health, parks, all that sort of stuff. Decoration, so that's just trees, areas, landmarks, terraforming. Transport, very important one. Packs as well, so this is a wee extra additional stuff in here as well. And then we've got the bulldozer. Also have some mods in here as well, which I'll talk about later on when we get to that stage. So anyway, let's go ahead and very quickly build myself some retail. So it's going to be low density, and I'm not going to build too many of these, to be honest. So I'm going to build a few shops along here, just, you know, to get us going, to get us started. And I want to delete that road as well, because you'll end up seeing how I lay out my city. It's going to be hopefully quite smart. So now I've built that road there. I'm also going to have office blocks as well. It's not really too much point me building too much. Like, I'll get to a stage where I'm building like maybe like 5 or 6 rows at once, but at this stage when you've got such a low population and weirder demands, it's sort of a lot different. So anyway, so if we go back into our population, you can see sort of I need to really address this issue of the unemployment rate really in this skill, because it's at 92%. There's also a very high unemployment rate in this skill, so I need to get more jobs, as you can see. Here we've got satisfaction as well, so this basically tells me satisfaction of everyone. Costs and jobs as well, so taxes, are they happy with what really. We've got services environment as well, so you don't want to look too much into that. This is sort of a guideline for you. And then if we come up here, basically it just tells you what every group is wanting. So right now the unemployment rate is severely high, people are leaving the city actually, and citizens want more shops, all this sort of stuff. And then also here is sort of your demand for goods. So commerce general satisfaction is right now very good, it's actually 100%, so we've addressed one of them issues there from, I believe it was the unskilled worker as well. It's sort of an amber at 49%. Anyway, I've rambled enough now, so I really need to actually build some more stuff. So let's go ahead and build some offices very quickly. So if we build, I don't want to build that big an office zone though, but I do think it would be worth it actually. So if I build that like that there, if I can get this bulldozer, that would be very nice, thank you. So that's me sort of got an office block. So I realise a lot of these won't fill up straight away, but in the long run they will, and the shops will provide them with some goods basically, and also some places to shop if they want lunch, if you know, that sort of stuff. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and actually start building some heavy industry now as well. Again, I'm going to leave a bit of a gap for this, like so. I'll leave probably a street's worth. I'll just do that there, connect that road to there, like so, and get rid of that now. I'm very, very picky, and you'll learn I'm sort of very picky about how I lay stuff out. So now I've done that, let's go ahead and get some heavy industry in, because heavy industry can make you a lot of money, and it is really, really helpful to have. So I can't have 9 blocks deep, so I'll go for 6, and I'll build 1, probably 2 of these to get me started, like so. And so far right now we don't have any traffic problems. This is because we will get horrendous traffic problems. This game has got a stage where you sort of get to about a population of 400,000, which we'll hopefully get to. And the game, it doesn't necessarily crash, but just gets that stage where it gets very sluggy, and your city sort of slowly grinds to halt, and it's basically caused because of traffic. So this is why I'm building huge roads, yet I've only got a population of 269. So with all them new buildings in though, hopefully we'll get a lot more people coming in, because there should be jobs really available very, very soon. So unemployment still very high, jobs available is not, because I built the plots, but people aren't really willing to go ahead and actually set up businesses yet. So slowly we are getting 1 or 2 more businesses in here. That's getting rid of some of our dissatisfaction, but as you can see, available jobs are starting to appear, you know. Also says up here available jobs, and basically if they're getting filled or not. So as you can see, there's 2 there. I can imagine they're probably going to go very quickly. As you see, they've gone, so it sort of all really makes sense. Another heavy industry has opened up there, so all makes sense. Anyway, now that that's done, really, it's sort of a waiting game, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to speed this game up. Now, speeding this game up is good at certain times, and it's not good at other times. Like, right now I'm just sort of waiting for more people to move in, so I can get more of these companies really to start growing, so I can basically, you know, land up getting a profit. So that's all the residential blocks actually full, and a lot of businesses have opened up. So I'm just going to go back down to, I'll do 1 times. Everything is green at the top, really. Everyone's satisfaction is good. So what do I need? What's my demand? Well, unemployment rates are still very high, so in a sense I can just sort of continue to wait and continue to speed things up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by helping my city really out and sort of giving it a good feel. So I want to add some parks. That's the next thing I'm going to do. One thing I'm actually going to do is add an area. So this is very smart. This game's done very well with this here as well. You can sort of add stuff. So you can sort of add, for example, a market area. If I want to add a market area in that space there, I can. So that looks quite smart. Now, it doesn't make me any money, but it doesn't cost me any money to run this, and it just fills gaps, which is quite smart. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to have maybe a forest in there as well. So it just fills the gaps up for you, and it does it absolutely wonderfully. I could fill any of this if I wanted to. I'm not going to, because I'm planning to build something in there eventually, but I could if I wanted to. And as you'll see when we get further into this game, stuff like that will make our people more happy, because it has a bit of an effect on the local area. Maybe not a very large effect, to be honest, but it does have some effect, and it is worth it. So the environmental quality is perfect. That's why I'm adding in stuff like parks, because trust me, it'll get to a stage where it's really not perfect. So anyway, I'm going to speed things up again, because we're sort of at this starting stage is good, but it's sometimes a bit slow. But a lot more businesses seem to be opening up. We're seeming to get a decent amount of traffic on the go. So next thing I'm going to show you here is transportation. Now, transportation, we've got a lot of stuff to cover in transportation as well, and transportation is a funny one, because it really all depends on how you lay out your city. And this is why I'm very picky, because I'm doing it right technically, but I need to wait for my population to grow. Anyway, so if we come to traffic, this basically just tells us the traffic on the roads. So this is the only time you're ever going to see this green, trust me, because it's just going to go downhill from here. I've also got travel satisfaction, so are people happy with the travel links? Now, because I've not really got much of a population, I do not have any public transport available, unfortunately. You need to get to 50,000 residents for that. Kind of unfortunate. However, you can actually use cheats, which I might use in some sense, because there's some stuff you don't unlock to such a late stage that it sort of just ruins your city, to be honest. So I'll talk about that though in the future if I decide to do that. I'm not planning on though. And you get 50,000 residents, but you can add buses and add bus lines, and then you also add metro lines. Metro doesn't really work too well, to be honest, I don't feel, but buses are a very big part to reducing congestion. You've also got other stuff, intercity stuff. I can't really build ports or harbours. You can build airports, also got international freight. You've also got a small airport and a large airport, so lots of stuff to look into in the future. Anyway, so as we can see, we've got a banking crisis here, not at all sure why. So tax outnumber, skilled workers. So I think we've got to the stage now, very quickly put that back to 1 there, where actually there's too many jobs available, which is a good thing to see, because that means we can go ahead and build more residential now. So let's go ahead and just build another street or 2. I'll build another just skilled one, and then I'll go ahead and build myself another unskilled one. So there we go, that's them in now. Again, I'm just going to get rid of these, because you do not want too many of these connections sitting in your expressway. So the plan is, I'm not really at all sure how it's going to work. I'm just going to have a wee zone down here. I'm going to start off here. So now I'm probably going to build farms in this green section here, so you can sort of tell from the aerial view the farming area. And then I'm not at all sure really where I'll explore to. I tend to like to keep things grouped together, but I might like, if there's oil, for example, over here, which I'm pretty sure there's an oil field up the top here, and I might start building another town at sort of the opposite end to the map, if we get to that stage anyway. But right now we've got such a low population, I can't really do that. Anyway, so let's go ahead and do some farming, because farming, your city basically has a demand for certain resources, and if you can't fuel that need, which I'll show you now in trade, then basically it's going to cost you. So you come into your Omnicorp, sort of the overall corporation which you trade with. So as you can see here, my cash flow is negative, and it is negative. I am, as you can see, only losing 11 actually, so that should be updating. So I'm actually making profit for the first time, which is good to see. Started off with 400,000, now at 245,000, which is not too bad at all. Anyway, go back into Omnicorp here. And this is basically right now, because we're doing so little, as you can see, that's now positive by the way. As you can see, we're doing so little that really, this isn't really too vibrant or exciting, but basically your demand's down here. So if it's in the negative, then you really need to go ahead and boost it, and probably you'll have to decrease your production, so that takes some off Omnicorp, but you have to pay for it. Whereas if you actually have more, then you can sell it to Omnicorp, and Omnicorp will buy anything basically from you, which is absolutely wonderful as well. So enough with that, let's go ahead and let's build some farms. I think for now, actually population wise, we're okay. So unemployment's still a bit high, but there's still loads of companies that can set up, so we'll leave them to do their thing for now. Let's go ahead though and build some farms. So I've got a mod for this actually. So usually there's only the 5 farms, the 5 default farms, which are vegetable, market, cereal, fruit. But I've also gone ahead and added in some more mods. That's cereal again, but it looks a lot better than the normal cereal. I've also got like orchards in here as well, so some smart farming, I guess you can say. So before I go ahead and actually do that though, you sort of, or I'd highly recommend, land up just building these small shitty grassy roads sort of through the areas, just because you sort of want to land up like the shitty farm roads to get too congested, and that's why I've gone ahead and built that, and you'll see why, because you will get some congestion even on farm roads, which is very surprising, but it does become a big complaint with farmers, and it really does tend to decrease the happiness of the unskilled and skilled workers. So back to farms, and that's automatically saving for me, which is probably a good thing. And I was about to burp there, not too sure really what that was, but farms up here. So let's go ahead and let's start building farms. So as you've seen as well, actually, and I'll show you in a second again, so that farm, that field's too small. So there we go, so that's our first field built. So as you can see here, we've also got silos, so that obviously gives like fertilizer and that sort of stuff. We've also got fertilizer stuff. We've got loads of stuff really for farming, which will slowly unlock, and I'll talk about as we unlock it. So I'm just going to build a variety of farms. It doesn't matter what kind of farms you build at all. It really actually has no difference on the overall outcome. The only thing that you really want to do is just overall increase your farming rate of food, because you don't want to have to buy food off Omnicorp. Anyway, so there we go. So that's me built 4 farms. So hopefully that'll get us started in a certain way, and hopefully that'll also provide us with some more jobs. So available jobs again, unskilled workers is a bit high, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and build some more residential, build some unskilled. Now unfortunately I can't do that there just because the way the position that road is. I'm not really at all sure how I'm going to get this expressway up this hill, but I'm going to have to at some point anyway. So for now, what I want to do is just extend it by a tad. Now unfortunately, they did very well with this part of the game, where obviously you can go ahead and define a zone size wise, but they add in extra roads. Like I only want to build to where my mouse is, roughly here in this corner. I only want to build to there, but it wants to build this extra bit under it. You can't do anything about that as far as I know, which is really unfortunate. So it's built this unnecessary road for me, which I just do not want to have. So I think I might leave that one in though, because I think that's the last road that I'm going to be building going up the hill. So this to be just another exit or entrance. Not at all sure. I'm not going to deal with my one-way systems just yet because the population is very low, but it'll get to that stage when we're going to need to. Anyway, so there's no manufacturing in this city, so that's a red alert as I can see at the top. There's also no high-tech industry, which I don't even know if I have them unlocked yet. I don't even have them unlocked. Need 5,000 residents, so I can't really address that issue, which is kind of annoying. Anyway, so public transport, not really got there yet. Overall, how are we doing? So there's availability, there's a lot of available jobs right now, so that means I basically need to build more homes. That's really the bottom line. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and build up another block up, I guess you could say. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build 10 high. And this time I'm going to build 1, 2. I'm actually going to build quite a lot of houses this time. and then 3. So that's just got a lot of houses, so I'm very quickly going to speed this up now, and then hopefully that can solve some of the available jobs. But our unemployment rate is going to go shooting up, as you'll hopefully see in a minute. However, people are sort of reluctant to move in, which is usually these blocks fill up a lot faster. Not at all sure why they're not, but there we go. So the tables have turned, so the available jobs have disappeared now, and the unemployment rates have shot up. But hopefully these final remaining patches will land up filling up. And we are now at over 1,000 inhabitants, which is pretty good. So before I actually wrap this episode up, because our time is ticking, let's go build some more shops. And we must be getting close as well. How close? You need 2,000 residents for health, 5,000 for education, 10,000 for security, 20,000 for fire, and 20,000 for environment. So we'll cross all this bridge when we eventually get to it. There's still a lot to look forward to. This game is it's got a lot of things to it, but I will try and explain it the best possible. And I do feel that this game is not that complicated, to be honest, but I've played it enough, so hopefully I'll be able to share my knowledge with you. Anyway, so for example, a gap like this, before I wrap this episode up, which I will in a second, again, you can just go ahead and fill this area up. So I don't think I'm going to do that. Urban Plaza. See, that looks quite nice. That's sort of an area for the workers to go to in between meals or in between shifts, and I'll just build trees along there just to make sort of the industrial state look a bit jazzier. I know it looks very weird having all this green in a lush desert, but you know, it's a nice contrast, Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the first episode up here of Towerville. City so far is going not too bad. Everyone seems to be happy. I'm making money. The population is also going up, so it's a really win-win. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. My name is Hightower5000 and I'm out. Adios.